What's up gamers, it's your boy Put here, back with another Magic the Gathering deck tech and gameplay video, and it was requested that I try out Golgari Midrange now that War of the Spark has come out, so that's what I'm doing. Now, to be fair, I don't think this new Golgari build is much better than previous, but I wanted to try out some new cards in Golgari Midrange kind of thing, and so here's what we've got. Basically, we've got your general Golgari Explore package. We've got Wildgrowth Walkers, Merfolk Branchwalker, Seekers Squire, and Jadelight Ranger. We've got all of those because that's just such a good way to start the game for a mid-range deck, because we're gaining life for aggro, we're buffing up some creatures for control, and if we were playing this in best of 3, I'm going to be playing in best of 1, but if we were playing it in best of 3 and we find control, we kind of generally take out the Wildgrowth Walker because we don't need the life gain, and then we sub in a more aggressive strategy for control, or at least we sub in a way to remove Planeswalkers or something like that. So that's what we do against control, but the Explore package is just it's so good. Literally every pretty much, I was building a lot of mono green decks recently, and all of them I was like, I kind of feel like I need the control or the Explore package because it's just so good. It's like, it's always good. Even if you're going up against control, Wildgrowth Walker is still good if you can get a couple Explores off, because it's basically you're paying 2 mana for like a 3/5 or something if you play Jadelight Ranger immediately after. Of course, this is a bit slower and you do have to have the right pieces to make it work right, but we still like it. Okay, new things. We have Nixilis' Cruelty. This is basically, I'm swapping this out for like if you would play a Moment of Craving or Cast Down or Murder or something. We're putting in Nixilis' Cruelty because it's very good. It is 3 mana, so that makes it a little bit harder to cast than to Cast Down, but it does make it hits more things. Okay, and here's why. So target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. So not only can we hit legendary creatures, it's not straight up destroying them, it's giving them -5/-5, so that allows us to kill things that will be indestructible, like Adonto Vanguard. This hits Adonto Vanguard. This hits Rekindling Phoenix, which is very important, because if we're going against a mono red that's playing Rekindling Phoenix, this is a perfect way to remove that. It also hits things like Lyra Dawnbringer by giving a -5/-5. It hits big 4-drops and 5-drops that we really want to get rid of. So this is a really good card. Other removal that we're running is Deathsprout. This is also a new card. It's 1, 2 black, and a green, so it's a bit expensive, and we just say destroy target creature, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then search your library. Personally, I'm not convinced this is going to be better than Vraska's Contempt, but I do want to play this. So we have Vraska's Contempt in the sideboard, but I do want to play this because it's new. It's in War of the Spark, so I want to give it a shot. And it's worked out pretty well so far. It's actually, it's better than you would think to be able to go and get a land from your library and put it on the field. It's kind of nice. It's kind of a nice little bonus there for when we destroy a creature. Though it's a bit limited in what we can do with it. I think Vraska's Contempt is generally just a better option in this slot, but if you're doing a budgety build, this is also a pretty good choice. Other things, Storrev Devkarin Lich. Now, she is a nice little 4-drop, the same cost as Deathsprout, and you get a 5/4 with Trample, and whenever Storrev deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, return to your hand target creature or planeswalker card in your graveyard that wasn't put there this combat. So this is a really nice way for us to get some recursion throughout the game without having to use Memorial to Folly and sacrifice lands and bring them back to our hand. This is a nice way to do that, and it's a very powerful 4-drop. 5/4 with Trample is pretty good. That's pretty good. We don't always need her ability, but we do like to be a little bit aggressive, and that's actually a good thing to have. Of course, she is vulnerable. She doesn't have indestructible. She's not one of the gods, so we can't put her back in and bring her back out. But still good. Still very good. Things I skipped. Midnight Reaper. We run 2 Midnight Reaper, and only because I had 2 slots open, and I was like, what do we need? Our three slot here is a little bit lacking, and Midnight Reaper is always a good choice in mid-range decks that are going to be playing a lot of creatures. So that's why we do it. Also, Midnight Reaper is helpful because we run 1 God-Eternal Bontu. God-Eternal Bontu is a legendary creature, zombie god, and when he or she enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. So this is a good way if we don't have any cards in hand, and we have some creatures or lands. If we're flooding out, we have a lot of lands, we can sacrifice those too, but sometimes we're going to be stacking a creature or two to draw us some cards, and if we have a Midnight Reaper on the field, that draws us even more cards. So this is really nice combo. We don't hit it very often, but sometimes it's actually quite nice. Even if we're not using God-Eternal Bontu, when creatures die, it's nice to be able to draw a card. Even though we take 1 damage, it's good to be able to draw a card. Usually we're going to sub this out against aggro because we don't really want to take that 1 damage from our own creatures when we're dealing with a lot of damage coming from the opponent. So that's an important thing to remember. We do run 2 Vraska Golgari Queen. She's a nice 4-drop. I really appreciate this Vraska because we can play her on turn 4 and she gives us a lot of value. And mainly in versatility. So we may sacrifice another permanent, and if we do, we gain 1 life and draw a card. So this is a good way to draw cards if we're running out and gain life. But we also can destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less, and that hits a lot of things for us. That hits a lot, which is really nice. It even hits quite a few Planeswalkers now that War of the Spark is out. We hit a lot of important Planeswalkers like Teferi Time Raveler, the most broken card in the world. We can destroy that with Vraska Golgari Queen. So that's very good. I have one of the special versions just because I didn't really want to use a Mythic Wild card on getting another regular version. We have one of these regulars and one of these little, what do they call it? The special whatever I got for playing the closed beta. Anyway, we also run 1 Finale of Eternity. This is a good way to almost sweep the board because we're not running Ritual of Soot or anything like that because we have too much here in the early game that we don't want to destroy. So Finale of Eternity is very nice. But we only run 1 because we don't want to get stuck with a bunch of this because it's expensive to cast if we want to make it good. We also run 2 Find Finality, which is another kind of sweeper card that can keep a creature of ours on the field. Very nice, and can also go into a graveyard and get cards out. We have 2 Liliana Dreadhorde General, and I love Liliana. She's so stinking powerful. It's great. Normally, in my experience, what we end up doing is... Actually, let me take that back. There's 2 kind of scenarios that she's going to come into the field on. Normally, she'll come into the field, and you'll just be like, well, there's not a whole lot of board for my opponent to remove because generally we're playing against control or like mid-range or something. We've removed a lot of creatures already. They don't have much of a board of creatures, so we create a zombie creature that they then have to deal with, especially against control. That's what's going to happen. Or if we're going up against aggro or something, we can play her and make them sacrifice 2 creatures, and sometimes we do take a hit from that. We sacrifice a creature or 2, but then we draw a card because our passive is so dang good. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. Very good. And if we get to our ultimate, that's just kind of almost game over, but we generally don't because we're going to be using her -4 because it's very useful. We also run 1 single copy of Vraska Relic Seeker. I'm not sold on this. I don't think you have to have it, but it's also very good. Removal, it's versatile. It's almost the same as Liliana Dreadhorde General, but not quite. We have similar things here. We also play 1 Casualties of War. Casualties of War is a very cool card. Not sure it's amazing in Standard because it's just very difficult to cast, but we can hit a lot of things, especially against control, though of course they can't have counterspells for this, but especially against control, we can destroy an artifact, creature, an enchantment, land, and a planeswalker. We can destroy all of those. That's nice. That's just nice. I will stop talking about this. We have 24 lands. I think 24 is plenty, especially with Explorer and Deathsprout, because we have ways to go to get lands, but we do want to make sure we hit these 6 drops that we have. We want to be playing Liliana and Vraska, or Vraska, in the game, because that helps us win. Of course, we can just win in the mid-game with our other power that we're building up here with Explorer, but let's get into some gameplay. Alright, folks, here we are coming into game 1 against Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. Isn't that a thing from, like, Indiana Jones? Where he's like, Mr. Jones. Whatever. Not important. Okay, this is actually a really good hand. We can get down a Wildgrowth Walker, and then probably a Merfolk Branchwalker, but maybe a Seekers Squire, depending on what we see. Yeah, and we've got lands we need. This is wonderful. Alright, what are we up against, Mr. Jones? Whew. I did not talk about the sideboard, but I will talk about it after. I'm going to go ahead and play the Golgari Guildgate because we don't have a turn 1 play. I will talk about the sideboard after I'm done with the games. We'll take a quick look at that. Okay, it's looking so far like Azorius Control. which is a bit worrisome, especially with this start. It's not a very aggressive start. Teferi Time Raveler, that's so nice. I love that. Probably going to return this to my hand if I had to guess. Yep. Oh, I love it when every deck is playing Teferi Time Raveler because that card is freaking broken. We'll go ahead and play Wildgrowth Walker here, and next turn, if this stays on the field, which I'm not hopeful about, but if it stays on the field, we can play a double Explore and then smack their Teferi.
Here goes nothing.
I'm going to play Merfolk Branchwalker because it's a more aggressive play than the Seekers Squire. Okay, Absorb, not a problem. We can still kill their Teferi by playing Seekers Squire. Deathsprout is a terrible card in this matchup because they're probably playing just Azorius Planeswalkers, and Deathsprout doesn't hit any Planeswalkers. This is where we want to be playing best of 3, so I can sideboard into Vraska's Contempt and Duress. So we may be taking a pretty big hit here in this matchup, but actually, I can still kill their Teferi. They don't have an answer to this right now, which is pretty nice. We're actually going to go to combat first, see if we can actually make this happen. So we kill their Teferi. We have 2 Teferi Time Ravelers in the graveyard. We'll go Wildgrowth Walker and Seekers Squire. And we will keep that on top of the library because she hits Teferi Time Raveler. If they have another one, we can play her and destroy him because we want to destroy him. Oh, they're playing Esper. Okay, I thought they were just doing Azorius Walkers, but they weren't hitting their lands. So now there's Teferi Hero of Dominaria. And can we kill you? I mean, we can kill you if you don't have an answer. So that's fun. I'm a little worried about a negate here on the Vraska. I'm going to go ahead and attack all here. Try to sweep their Teferi away. Okay. Now, they may have a negate, but I'm going to go ahead and play the Vraska. They could even have a D-Spark, which would be a big bummer. You know, what I'm going to do is sacrifice this Seekers Squire, because at a 1-2, it's not really helping me a whole lot, so, and I'd rather draw a card. Okay. The problem here is I'm a little bit worried about a Vraska's Contempt. Not a Vraska's Contempt, a Kaya's Wrath coming down. I always get those card titles mixed up. Kaya's Wrath would be very bad without a Midnight Reaper on the field. So I'm going to just wait. I'm not going to play the Seeker Squire yet. I'm going to hold it in hand and let them play their sweeper, whatever they're going to play. Yep. They've got the mana for it, which is what I was scared of. And there's the Kaya's Wrath. So I made the right choice. Whew. It always feels good when you make the right choice. I'm actually going to play a Swamp, then go Seekers Squire. And I'm actually going to sacrifice a land here, I think. We've got 7 lands that we don't particularly need. We graveyard Dax, we're not going to need it. Or we could be a little even cheekier, and we can sack the Seekers Squire and draw 2 cards because of Midnight Reaper. Yeah, that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice you. We draw 2 cards, and they're both lands. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Can I get some gas here? I've not drawn any gas. So having them still on 23 lands with 5 cards in their hand is really bad. That's terrible. I'm expecting another Teferi Hero of Dominaria, or maybe even a Liliana Dreadhorde General coming up, which is very scary. I don't like it. Kaya, huh? Okay.
Phantasms makes me feel good.
What's she gonna do? I mean, she's gonna gain some life. And they get rid of my Wildgrowth Walker, which is a shame. Am I worried about Kaya? Not. I am, because she can gain them life, but I'm not that worried about her right now. I mean, the problem is I need to go and attack her, because if I deal 3 to them, she gains them 2 life. And we're you know, we're not much better off either way. So let's scry up. Basically, we're going to explore, see what's on top. Deathsprout, we graveyard that, because it's so unnecessary right now. I'm actually going to sack a land. We'll sack a forest here. Another Branchwalker. Lovely. To be honest here, I don't mind a Kaya's Wrath too bad, because that will allow us to draw a lot of cards, which will be very good. We'll play that tapped. I may want to just go ahead and play the Swamp, but whatever. Just because, excuse me, yawning. Just because it's revealed and I want to get that out of my hand instead of something that's not revealed. Okay. Do we see a Kaya's Wrath here? I'm pretty sure this deck runs like 3 or 4 Kaya's Wraths. Or like a good version of this deck runs probably 3 or 4. Alright, Mr. Jones, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'm very interested in what he has in his hand, because they've got 5 cards, and they're not playing anything, which is scary. Maybe, and they're not countering my spells. Hostage Taker. Oh, I hate that. I don't like that. So they take my Midnight Reaper, almost definitely, and then they can play it immediately. Hostage Taker is a bit of a surprise, actually, in this deck. I wouldn't expect it when they've got so many Planeswalkers. It's actually very sad that I couldn't get my Deathsprout out. If I'd actually played the Swamp, I could have played Deathsprout on Hostage Taker. Oh, yes. Liliana, you are a god.
Your corpse will make an excellent minion.
First of all, we're going to do this. Second of all, we're going to do that. They draw some cards, but I also draw cards. Okay, so we passed the turn. So we do have her emblem right now, so if we can get a creature on the field to stay, like just a zombie token, that's all we need. They're probably going to kill Liliana here, that's my guess. But if we got a creature on the field to stay and deal damage to them, we would win the game.
Really better watch your back from here. I'm gonna make myself scared.
Okay. Okay. Oh gosh. So I'm in actually a pretty good position right now, seeing the board here. A little worried about Vraska's Contempt. Actually, mean Vraska's Contempt this time. Oath of Teferi. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting.
Good for you. Shuffling me off my mortal coil.
You know what I should have done, though? I should have played that last turn differently. Now that I'm thinking back on it, I definitely should have played it differently. Oops. Okay. We'll just... I can't use that. Darn it. Gold, darn it. Actually, we're going to sacrifice that. Find Finality is actually pretty good. We'll play the Midnight Reaper. You can't play Absorb, right? Because Absorb takes 2 blues. Yep. And we'll do that. I'm not going to... I don't really want to play the Find right now. I could play Find, I suppose. You know what? That's actually probably a good choice. We'll go ahead and do that. Bring these back to our hand, so that we have creatures that we can continue to play. Even if they kill our Liliana here, we still have creatures we can put on the board to put pressure on them, because they have to remove our creatures or we win. Like if they don't deal with these, we win. And if they have to deal with these, we can keep these on the board. So it's very nice. Very nice. And we can probably use this to kill their Kaya, actually. And I might do that. I might minus Vraska to kill their Kaya, and then I can play the other Vraska. Kaya's Wrath. Okay. Fine. We're drawing a bunch of cards.
I'll find a use for you later.
Casualties of War. Very nice. Actually, super good in this scenario.
Be gone. You better watch your back from here on out. I'm gonna make myself scarce.
Okay. I've got to make sure I get this to land, though. Because I feel like they've got a counterspell.
You better watch your back from here on out. Anyway.
I have a lot of cards right now. Okay, I'm going to play the Branchwalker, see if they have a counterspell. I think they do, but I think they let this come out. I'm going to keep that on top, actually. I don't really think I play Casualties of War because I feel like it's going to just get countered. I think what I do is do this.
I'll be back.
Shadows. Just you wait.
And I play this, which may get countered. And if it does, so be it. Does it get countered? Does it, though? Okay, nope. That's fine. We go ahead and make a zombie token.
This looks like a
I don't have to discard anything, so that's nice. We'll go ahead and just do this. Plus, and then decline. And then pass the turn. So if they don't have a sweeper here, or removal for both of these cats, then we're pretty good. Chemist's Insight. So they're drawing, they're digging for Kaya's Wrath or something. Doesn't look like they're finding it. Oh, come on, Papa. Papa. Chemist's Insight. Okay, that's the game. Good game, opponent. My turn, and yep, there we go. Yes, we won that game. I was not sure about that for so long, but getting that emblem up was actually super important. I think they kind of like were too busy dealing with my other threats. They forgot that she was on 10 and I can get her, use her -9. So that was nice. That was very nice. Okay, let us play another game. That game actually turned out pretty well. We weren't hitting some of the cards that I wanted to. Like we never got our Storrev. But we did get a lot of the things I wanted to see. We got Casualties of War, but never played it because I didn't really need to. We did play the Liliana, and that was a bomb. Liliana is so good. Okay. Okay. I can actually keep this hand. It's very dependent on what they've got, whether this is a good hand or not. Because we have so much Explore here, I feel like I can keep a 2-land hand with creatures that we can play. Gutter Bones. Okay. This might be ouchy. Because they're playing aggressive. They may be playing mono black aggressive. Like just zombies and skeletons stuff. Okay, so I don't have a play there. So we'll go ahead and get the Seekers Squire down because it's a better blocker. But we do have another land. We have our third land, so that's nice. Yeah, we'll keep that on top of the library because we do have our third land, and we'll probably end up just playing our Merfolk Branchwalker anyway. Cast down. Not a huge problem. We take 2 more damage. So that's fine. They are not drawing cards. That's a thing. We're going to go and play the Merfolk Branchwalker, try to explore into another land. This sucks, because I really need to graveyard this and get a land. Dang. Yep. I mean, I suppose I could have kept it on top and then explored again next turn to try to get another land. I don't think I block this, actually. Maybe I do. I think I do block this. Or no. Or yes. Ah. Okay, the thing is, this is 3 damage to them, or 2 damage to me, but they can get Gutter Bones back, so that's the reason I don't really want to block it that much. Because they can just get it back, and they probably have another cast down, or a Moment of Craving, or something like that. So I think I block. And Dreadshade. Okay. Another land. Wonderful. Ooh. Ahaha. We're going to actually just pass the turn and then play Deathsprout probably on their Dreadshade if they try to buff it. I'm hoping they spend mana here to make it stronger. Okay, we'll just go ahead and kill it now. They could have Unlikely Aid. That would be an interesting card to run in this deck. Unlikely Aid gives a creature like +2/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. It's a nice card. Next turn is a big turn. We've got Merfolk Branchwalker and then a Midnight Reaper, so that's actually very nice. Eternal Taskmaster. I don't like Eternal Taskmaster because I can get things back. I'm actually going to graveyard that. We don't really need Explorer package at this point. We just need more bigger creatures or Planeswalkers. Deathbaron, you say? Yeah. Okay. We're actually going to play this. We're going to go destroy target land and destroy target creature. Target Deathbaron. Actually, we could just target... We could undo that and target actually the Eternal Taskmaster. Because their Deathbaron does pretty much nothing right now for them. It's just a 2/2 for 3. Please block with it. Please. And the thing about Eternal Taskmaster that I didn't want to keep it alive because it can bring stuff back. Spawn of Mayhem, you say? Interesting. I'm just gonna Finality then. I don't want them to have Spawn of Mayhem. Can't keep any of my creatures alive, but that's kind of okay. Because I don't mind drawing cards at this point. I will decline. Because they'll die anyway. Wow. Okay, we'll go ahead and just play that tapped. That was a kind of bad draws. I don't really need this. I mean, I guess it might be helpful. Midnight Reaper, fine. Yeah, Deathsprout is actually pretty good here. Graveyard that. I'm just getting rid of threats, I guess, but I also am fishing for Planeswalkers because those are more value to me right now. Or Storrev. Storrev would be amazing. But we're going to pass the turn. We may end up Deathsprouting their Midnight Reaper. Alright, TGP. A Deathbaron. We'll go ahead and Deathsprout the Midnight Reaper. And get a... Actually, we'll get a Swamp. Doesn't make much difference at this point because we have plenty of lands to do what we need. Diregraph Ghoul. Ah, yes. Finale of Eternity is pretty nice here. We'll go 1, 2, 3. Kill both of those. And then attack them. Finale of Eternity is nice. Very nice. Especially when you're playing like little tribal decks like this where they have a lot of smaller creatures. That you can easily hit without killing your own stuff. Gutterbones. Gutterbones. We don't care about you, except the only reason we would care about you is that you get your other Gutterbones back next turn by attacking me. And can I please draw something that's not a land? Please, 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 please. Liliana, Dreadhorde General, I'm begging you. Just show up on top. I'm sad that I put you back, put you in the graveyard earlier. I would also take a Storrev because I can get back my Liliana. Storrev, there we go. Let's go. Let's heckin' go. They have a cast down? They might have a cast down, but that can't hit Storrev, so that's good. We're going to go and attack with Merfolk Branchwalker, put the pressure on, which means they cannot really attack aggressively next turn because they're close to death. We'll end our turn, keeping the swamp in hand just to make them think we've got something. Why did you... Oh, TGP, why did you not cast down before you played that? That makes no sense to me. Okay, if I attack with Storrev, they can kill her with Gutter Bones. Actually, okay, here's what we do. We go attack. They double block here. They're gonna still take 3 damage. If I Nixilis, they lose. Rip TGP. That's the game, folks. Finally, all of our creature removal came in handy that game. It was really just slowing us down against control, the Deathsprouts and the Casualty of War, really. But it actually was super nice in that game. So we're probably going to play one more game here. That first game lasted so long that I don't have a lot of time left, unless this game is like super fast against like Mono Red or something. Okay. This is a terrible hand. We can't play anything that we've got for a long time, and we only have 2 lands, so we're gonna mulligan that. 2 lands again, but we do have we have Wildgrowth Walker into Jadelight Ranger, and we get a Scry. So I'm gonna keep this. Hopefully we have a land on top, and hopefully it's a green mana source. It's a Seekers Squire, which we can keep because we get to explore and get another land, hopefully, and we get our Wildgrowth Walker up. Okay, so they scried themselves into Oblivion. They're gonna play the swamp. I'm a little worried that this is going to be Aristocrats, because Aristocrats is a bummer. Aristocrats is a big bummer. Got Wildgrowth Walker. And maybe we draw into a green mana source. We don't block, of course. We take the 1 damage. Oh, excuse me. Dang. Okay, well, we just go Seekers Squire then. And we gain 3 life. We're back up to 21. I'm having to do it again. I've got to graveyard you because I need lands. I'm sorry, Liliana. I'm really sorry. I just want lands and stuff. I'm gonna actually attack here. Okay, they take it. That's fine. I will continue to take the 1 damage from this Orzhov Enforcer as long as I have to. Yeah, I'm almost for sure this is an Orzhov Aristocrats deck. They've got all this Afterlife. Woodland Cemetery. Nice! We go Jadelight Ranger. Oh, actually, probably shouldn't have kept that. Actually going to attack with Seekers Squire. Yeah, I don't really want to attack with Wildgrowth Walker because they just block with Orzhov Enforcer. Orzhov Enforcer is a very good card. Kind of underrated in my opinion. 1/2 with Death Touch and Afterlife 1 for 2 is very good. Because you want to use this as a blocker, so I can't really attack with my 4/6 creature. They're just kind of keeping me at bay. Though I could just Deathsprout their Orzhov Enforcer. And then attack. Of course, this does have Afterlife, but I'm not really concerned with that. I'm going to go get a Forest. We've got double swamps here. Afterlife doesn't bother me one bit. They've got blockers for everything. And they may have a cast down or something. Mortify. Okay. Not the end of the world. I don't like that, of course, because I wanted that. Okay. Fine. Double block. And they get 2 lifelinkers. But I've got a Jadelight Ranger to play, and I've got a Find. Revival. Interesting. Finality is starting to look like a good option here, actually. Casualties of War. I'm going to attack. They probably block with Orzhov Enforcer. Nope. Interesting. I think I actually hold up the Deathsprout. Because if they play something like a Teysa Karlov here, I'm going to want to kill that. I'm going to take the damage. I don't mind taking a bunch of damage right now. Okay, we passed my turn. Oh, this is actually good. Okay. So we can attack here. And then play Finality. So that stays alive, and they die. So they get 2 creatures back, but I basically swept their board. And leave me with a 4/5. They're still attacking, which makes me think they've got something to play here. No? Okay. Vraska's Contempt, fine. We go next to damage, and then we go Jadelight Ranger. Graveyard that. We've got plenty of removal right now. We'll play that, and then put Seekers Squire down. We get a forest. Okay, these are weak sauce. I wanted a little bit more power, but that's fine. They're top decking lands, it looks like. Yeah, that would be an interesting choice to attack there. There's our Wildgrowth Walker now. Finally. Let's go ahead and just double attack here. They may double block our Jadelight Ranger, which I don't really care about. Fine. Play the Wildgrowth Walker. I suppose I could have just played Casualties of War back there, but I didn't. It didn't feel like the right play. They are super flooding out right now, as am I, sort of. Yay! We take them to 13 to 13. I will play that and end the turn. The good news is, whatever creature they play, we've got removal for it. Midnight Reaper, no sweat. We'll get another forest. So they draw a card, which I don't love, but that's kind of okay. They don't have a blocker this turn, and they took another damage. And I still can't draw anything but lands. Nice. I have lots of lands. Lots of lands. Another Midnight Reaper. Wonderful. Still have removal for it, though, so that's good. Yay for Deathsprout. We love Deathsprout against this deck. There you are. Finally, we got the Liliana. They might have a Vraska's Contempt coming up for it. But whatevs. We're going to probably win this game. I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched, you know, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. Feeling very good. Liliana is powerful. And I get to draw 3 cards here. Okay, not really good cards, but fine. We accept. So we've got a Midnight Reaper and another 2/2 zombie on the field right now, which will pretty much seal the game for us unless they concede right now. Thank you for that win, opponent. Let's go look at the sideboard real quick before we end this video. I want to make sure I show that to you guys. Yeah, we got a pack. We'll go ahead and open this pack. Another Storrev. Perfect. Perfect. Just matches the deck we were just playing. Okay. Let's look at what we've got on the sideboard. So obviously we're going to be running 3 Duress against control. We want to make sure that Usually we want on the first turn to get rid of a Thought Erasure from the opponent, but sometimes we also want to use this to preemptively remove a Planeswalker or something that we might have a hard time killing. Also against control, we have 2 Elderspells, which is nice for just basically Planeswalkers decks. There's Azorius Planeswalkers and Jeskai Planeswalkers, and Esper control runs a lot of Planeswalkers, so that's very good for us, especially when we're running several Planeswalkers. We also play Vraska's Contempt against control. Things with Planeswalkers, even mid-range decks, we also want to play Vraska's Contempt against, so that's good. We have 2 Command the Dreadhorde in here, which is also not too bad against control, because this can return a bunch of things from our graveyard to the playing field and deals damage to us, which we usually don't care about taking damage against control. So this can be really nice, especially if they've removed a lot of things early on. And so we take damage, right? We Command the Dreadhorde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. But if we're putting back on our Explore package, we gain life. We gain life even though we've just taken a bunch of damage. So this is a very good card against those decks that are going to be removing stuff. If we see our opponent playing Thief of Sanity or other big flyers that we don't want to deal with, particularly like Lyra Dawnbringer, or actually, this doesn't really deal with Lyra Dawnbringer very well because First Strike. Does First Strike happen in that fight? Anyway, not too important, but also Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, is another one we want to watch out for, again, in like Boros, aggro, or something like that. So Crowl Harpooner is very helpful. Also, Moment of Craving is good against aggro. That we usually sub that in for sometimes for Nixilis' Cruelty, because we want to keep our Explore package up. Maybe also, though, if they're playing a lot, it's like mono red, particularly against mono red or mono white, we can sub this in for a Deathsprout, or maybe a God-Eternal Bontu. So those are things that are options. There are, of course, other things that you can play, like you could play more Vraska Relic Seekers. You could play more Vraska Golgari Queen. Actually, this turned out to be pretty good in this game, or in this, and probably another Storrev Devkarin Lich. She's actually pretty strong. So that's the deck. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comments below. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you're still with me, I really appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video, and have a great day. Remember to do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, do whatever. Okay, bye.